Well, my name is Aiden. I'm a senior in high school. I will be attending Utah State here in the fall of 2025. I'm a born and raised Texan, and I'm very proud to be from Texas. So a little bit about how I got into this struggle was it really started over COVID. It was 2020, I could tell you the exact day, September 11th. I was just playing Xbox by myself. Over COVID, I had a lot of downtime to just be bored. I had found some loopholes, and I was 13 at the time. And in the moment when I first fell into pornography and temptation and masturbation, in the moment I felt pleasure, but right after I kind of felt guilty. I'm like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I don't know why I shouldn't be doing this, but I know it's wrong. And then in January of 2021, my parents told me that I was moving. And it was really hard for me because I'd lived in the same town since I was 5 years old. And so I grew up with these kids. It was like my own rebellion, and it really gratified in the stages of moving. And when I moved here, it really took over my life. It became very prevalent, something that I indulged in constantly. And it's because it was it was an escape, it was an Advil type of thing. I go back to it again and again and again. And that's kind of how this cycle of temptation, that went all the way up until my junior year of high school. When I was stuck in that cycle, some of the emotions that were very prevalent in my life was I felt very perverted. I felt gross. I felt like a hypocrite because I was out there wearing all the t-shirts that are like, hey, follow Jesus. And then I'd go home and I wouldn't be following Jesus. I wouldn't be picking up my cross. I kind of felt like living a double life, if that makes sense. Viewing pornography really affected how I viewed myself and my relationships in my life. I viewed myself as weak. I can't say no to this feeling that I have. And so it really, over time, I kept seeing myself as weaker and weaker and weaker the more I would say yes and then instead of saying no. And it was just really hard. My self-esteem started to slowly go downhill. About the church group that I go to, I heard it from my pastor, my youth pastor at the time. I had reached out to him and saying, hey, I'm struggling. I really can't go along with this anymore right after I hit my rock bottom. And he's like, well, I'm starting a group at our church. I think you should join, and there's gonna be some of people that you know that are going through the same struggles that you're going through. I'm like, okay. And 2 weeks later, we started the group. And when I first walked in and I saw people that I knew at school and from church, I was like, whoa, I'm not alone in this. And so I gave my testimony, I opened up, I got vulnerable, and at the very end, everyone was understanding and they related with me in that time. And I was like, whoa, people are going through the same thing that I'm going through that are close to me. And it felt very good. And then after opening up about my weeks and my struggles through that week and my wins through that week, over and over and over again, by the time I hit week 5 or 6, it was natural. I didn't mind opening up to these guys because I was very comfortable with them, and it really built a lot of trust. What I've learned through joining this group was 2 main things. One is vulnerable trust. I had to build that trust over time. It wasn't built in 1 meeting, it wasn't built in 2. It was built over a course of months of going to this group and having that vulnerable trust where I would open up and I would trust them to not go and tell everybody, but also trust them to give me advice, and they would reciprocate with the same amount of trust. That trust is more trust than I have had in any other guy or friend or mentor in my entire life. And then the second thing that I learned was have people to hold you accountable. Accountability is key. And having someone that I know that I can call every day and every night, right before I go to bed, or when I'm tempted or when I'm feeling lonely, and I know they'll pick up and I know they'll give me good advice and I know they'll never say anything. And it's just calling someone really helps me in a time that I'm feeling overwhelmed with temptation. And so that accountability and that partnership was something else that I really learned. One thing that I experienced that gave me hope was once I started to build momentum, and 1 week turned into 2 and turned into a month and then turned into 2 to 3 months, I realized that recovery was possible. With the power of these guys and Jesus, I can overcome what the devil has thrown at me, and then what I felt I was stuck in, what I felt was impossible to overcome, I can do it. It's possible.